player taps another player on the shoulder. The other guy collapses like he just got shot by a sniper from the upper deck. He's rolling. He's crying. He's grabbing a knee that wasn't even touched. 30 seconds later, he's sprinting full speed down the field like nothing happened. This is the most ridiculous, most hated, and weirdly most strategic thing in all of sports. And once you understand why football players actually do this, you'll never watch a match the same way again. So, let's break it down. Football, what Americans call soccer, has one weird thing going for it that no other major sport has. The clock never stops. Not for fouls, not for injuries, not for arguments, not for a guy literally lying on the grass. The game just keeps going. That one tiny detail changes everything. In American football, basketball, even baseball, the clock pauses constantly. So flopping doesn't really help you. But in soccer, if a player goes down and the referee stops the game, the other team loses momentum. The attack dies. The crowd cools off. And that's the first secret. Faking an injury isn't about pain. It's about killing time. Picture this. Your team is winning 1-0. There's 5 minutes left. The other team is pushing hard. What's the easiest way to slow them down without breaking any rules? Fall down. Grab your leg. Wait for the trainers to jog on with their little water bottle. Boom. 2 minutes gone. Game basically over. Now, here's where it gets crazy. Studies have actually tracked this. Teams that are winning fake injuries way more than teams that are losing. It's not random. It's a tactic. A dirty, brilliant, weirdly effective tactic. But there's a second reason. And this one's even sneakier. Getting your opponent a yellow card. In football, if you commit a hard foul, the referee can pull out a yellow card as a warning. 2 yellows in one game and you're kicked out. Your team plays the rest of the match a man short. So if you can make a small bump look like a broken leg, you might trick the ref into punishing the other guy. One bad acting job can literally win you the match. And then there's the third reason. Pure psychology. When a player rolls around screaming, the crowd boos. The cameras zoom in. The other team gets rattled. The whole vibe of the game shifts. It's mind games at 90 miles an hour. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but why doesn't FIFA just stop this? Great question. They've tried. Yellow cards for diving, video replays, public shaming on social media. None of it has fully worked. Because here's the thing nobody talks about. The rules actually reward it. As long as the clock keeps running and injuries can stop play, faking will exist. It's baked into the sport. And here's the part that'll really mess with you. The best fakers in the world, they're often the biggest stars. Players you've definitely heard of. Neymar became so famous for rolling around that there's an entire viral video called the Neymar Challenge, where kids copy his dramatic falls. At the 2018 World Cup, one stat went viral. Neymar spent a combined 14 minutes on the ground across just a few games. 14 minutes, that's longer than some halftime shows. So next time you're watching the World Cup and a player drops like they got hit by a truck, watch what happens next. Check the score, check the clock, check which team is attacking. 9 times out of 10, you're not watching an injury. You're watching strategy. Quick recap. Players fake injuries because the clock never stops, so going down kills time. They do it to draw cards and get opponents in trouble. And they do it to mess with the other team's heads. It's annoying, it's dramatic, and it's been part of football for over 100 years. Honestly, it's one of the things that makes the sport so wild. Where else do grown men get paid millions to be part-time actors? If you want to actually understand the World Cup before 2026 kicks off, stick around. There's a whole lot more weird stuff about this sport I'm about to break down. Subscribe so you don't miss it.